Blue Lock has always had an interesting way of visually displaying the abilities of its characters, and one of the coolest ways that they do this is through the auras that they display while playing football. In today's video, I wanted to do my version of discussing every single one of these auras we have seen in Blue Lock and what they mean. For this video, I'm specifically talking about the visual representation of the auras, so I won't necessarily get into other aspects such as colors. But if you would like future videos such as that, then definitely let me know in the comments. So first, we have our main character in Blue Lock, and of course Isagi's visual aura representation is puzzle pieces. We often see Isagi's puzzle pieces when he encounters a difficult problem in a football match, with him visualizing that problem as a puzzle and him needing to figure out the last piece in the puzzle in order to get an advantage within the football matches. A quick example of this from first selection would be Isagi trying to figure out the final piece he needs to score against Team V in the final match from the first selection, and Isagi realizes that his direct shot weapon combined with his spatial awareness ability equals a goal for him, and he's able to get the winning goal for Team Z after getting this final piece. The puzzle pieces also refer to Isagi's adaptability and how even midway through matches he can disassemble all the information that he thought he knew up until that point, like separate puzzle pieces being taken apart, and assemble them again so it comes back newer, stronger, and better, like a finished puzzle piece that is a complete picture. Bachira's visual aura is one of the most memorable from Blue Lock, which is his monster. Bachira's monster is one of the first visual auras we see in Blue Lock, but what makes it unique to other auras on this list is that Bachira could see and even interact with his aura, but this is due to his aura at first being more of a visual representation of his loneliness, since he created the monster in order to have a friend to play football with him, since he was being bullied as a young child and didn't have friends. It's only once Bachira is able to confront his childhood trauma, his aura is able to become a true representation of his football abilities, which we see during his match in the Neo-Egoist League arc. Bachira's monster very much matches his eccentric and chaotic personality, plus his unpredictable playstyle on the field is similar to how you can never guess what a monster is thinking and what they will do next, which we see Bachira play in the same way. Chigiri's visual aura makes a lot of sense to his character, which is a panther. This aura is of course a reference to Chigiri's special weapon, which is his speed, making him the fastest Blue Lock player in the facility and helping him to be established as a prodigy from since he was a young boy. His visual aura is best seen during the special formula that Chigiri created during the Manstein match in the Neo-Egoist League arc, which is his 44 Panther snipe, where Chigiri uses his speed to locate his ideal shooting zone, which helps him to more than likely score as long as he could get into that zone. And with Panthers being so fast, it makes sense that his aura would represent this. But it does make me question why not a cheetah, since they are the fastest land animals. But it all lands within the big cat family, so it's not that big of a deal. Maybe the author just liked the sound of 44 Panther snipe better than 44 cheetah snipe, which yeah, fair enough. Next we have Kunigami's visual aura representation being playing cards. Now, I'm not sure if this visual aura is here to stay, since unlike most other characters on this list, we haven't repeatedly seen Kunigami being associated with this aura, and it seems to be more of a manifestation from his time during Wildcard, since he himself is like the Wildcard character that has come back into the story and completely changed the rules of the game, like how Blue Lock's rules were that if you were eliminated from the project, there was no way of coming back. In this case, I think it'd actually be cool if during the PXG match, Kunigami were to confront his feelings about his time during Wildcard and were able to break the chains that weigh him down from that time, since chains are a common visual representation of a character being weighed down from something in their past. For example, Chigiri had to break the chains from his fears of hurting himself again from his ACL tear, while Hiyori had to break the chains of his past with his parents. So if Kunigami were to break his chains, then maybe his real visual aura would manifest. Kunigami has also been referred to as a dark horse, so this could be a balanced new aura for him to get, since it could represent his past hero self, since heroes in old stories often have horses with them, while also referring to his current self of being the dark horse of Blue Lock. He can also just be whatever this animal is from this Blue Lock promotion, but let me know in the comments what you think would best suit him. but maybe the playing cards are here to stay. Now let's discuss Nagi's aura, which is death itself. Nagi's aura tends to come out when he feels fired up during a football match and he decides that he's going to take the game seriously. So it's kind of funny that Nagi's aura, that is death, is seen when he feels the most alive. But Nagi's aura could be referenced to his personality and lifestyle, since we know the thing that Nagi dislikes most is working hard, and the thing he craves most in his life is just to be in peace and have nothing to do. And even in the spin-off novels, in Nagi's section, his eyes would be referred to as half dead when compared to his more hopeful and enthusiastic peers. So it makes sense that Nagi's aura would be death, since there is no time where you are more at peace than death itself. But this is more of an interpretation of what I think Nagi's aura could mean, since it's not as obvious as Chigiri's panther or Izaki's puzzle pieces. It could also be a reference to his trapping abilities, since Nagi is able to trap balls so well, he's able to completely kill their momentum. Plus, with him being the most deadly player from his building in the first selection, it could be reference to how Nagi can kill the hopes and dreams of the opposing team with his amazing abilities, and that his presence can feel similar to death itself when he decides to get serious on the field. Before we continue, I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers and more, and we are really close. So I would love your help, since over 90% of you guys watching are not subscribed. So if you enjoy the content, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. Alright, let's get back into the video. Next, we have Ryo with his visual aura being the chameleon. The meaning of this is obviously in reference to Ryo's copy ability, which allows Ryo to copy most skills and abilities with 99% accuracy, meaning it's a near perfect copy, but can never match up to the originals fully, with the exception to this ability being he can only copy physical abilities that are within his physical capabilities, so he can't copy natural physical talents such as Chigiri's extreme speed, for example. This ability has helped make Ryo into an even bigger threat in bllk and one of the strongest players currently. But this aura can also represent how much of an all-rounder that Ryo is and how he can blend in well with most teams because of his solid stats in every category, and the way he can quickly go from playing a position such as a midfielder to suddenly moving like a striker and going for goals. So for Rin's visual aura, it's interesting since we have seen him with several different types of visual aura. So the first one I'll be discussing is his water aura. This water aura could be a representation of how cool and calm Rin is in matches, especially when he feels the most in control, like during the second selection. Also, how his kicks are so precise that the ball moves through the air like it's in water itself. Next would be Rin's puppeteer master visual aura that we also saw during the second selection, which refers to Rin's playstyle of making everyone move on the field how he intends. Since when he's his usual self, he feels very much in control and can read the field perfectly, like all the players are puppets and he's the puppet master, with the best example of this being during the second selection, when Rin would oftentimes be able to predict what would happen next and how players would react, with only Isagi occasionally being able to surpass what Rin would predict, which is why Rin at times can be caught off guard by players that move in a very unpredictable and non-logical way, since they would not be behaving like a typical puppet like he's used to. So both his water and puppet aura represent when Rin feels most in control, but his final visual aura would be the complete opposite of this and would be when Rin feels the most out of control, which is what we saw during the U20 match when Rin went into his flow state. People in the community have referred to this aura as the destroyer aura, so I'll refer to it that way as well, but visually Rin's destroyer aura looks like a collection of grotesque monster pieces that have been smashed together, and this aura can show how out of control and chaotic Rin feels when he's in this state, which is why it's not able to create a solid thing like the other auras we have discussed on this list, and also how it just wants to destroy and how he wants to destroy when he's in this state. So it's very different from his water and puppet aura. And sticking with the itoshi family, next we have Sai with his aura being data. A similarity that the brothers have is that they both like to be in control and predict what will happen next in matches, which is why Sai's data aura most likely represents how as a midfielder he has the most control of the ball and how others will play. For example, when and how strikers will get to score, since he can use his gifts as a midfielder to know where is the best place to pass the ball, like how a computer system uses the data it has to give the best results to his user, which we saw the best example of this with Sai when he was playing with Shidou, someone that wasn't able to have chemistry with anyone in the Blue Lock facility. He was able to bring out the best in him and give the U20 Japan team a chance against the Blue Lock 11. This also refers to how Sai is constantly collecting data on players in his head, and after analyzing all this data, he's able to react to their movements instantly and effectively shut them down. Now for Baru. Baru's aura being a lion makes a lot of sense, since Baru refers to himself as king, and lions are called the kings of the jungle and see themselves as the top of the food chain, which is definitely how Baru sees himself when playing football, with him being the king and everyone else below him, especially since on the Ubers team, Baru gets called the king by his teammates and they serve the ball to him so he can score. This aura also refers to a tactic that Baru uses, which is similar to a lion, where he'll wait to see his opponent's blind spot like a lion is waiting for his prey. Then at the perfect opportunity, he will take the ball even if it's from his own teammate and score, since getting goals is what feeds him and his ego. So now we have Shidou with his aura being a demon. This is reference to his explosive play style that makes it seem he is like a demon when playing on the field. He's also referred to as a demon by other characters, especially Sai, because of his personality and tendency towards violence, making him extremely unpredictable both on and off the field, and not someone that is easy to get along with, which we saw with the fact that no one in the Blue Lock facility at the time during the U20 match could play with Shidou, and it required a prodigy like Sai to bring out Shidou's true potential as a player and for him to even play in the U20 match, since even at first the original U20 Japan team didn't want to play with him. We even also saw him with wings on his aura during the U20 match, since demons at times can be depicted with wings. Also, Shidou was able to go up so high during his Big Bang drive, it seemed like he was flying. Also, fun fact, Shidou's favorite manga is actually Chainsaw Man, which is all about defeating and taking out devils, so very much fits with his character and his aura. Kaiser's aura is a rose, and I feel like there's many different ways you can interpret his aura, but how I see it is that Kaiser's like a rose, where at first when you see him, you only see how amazing he is, and it's not until you get closer you realize there's a lot more going on with him and can get hurt by his thorns if you aren't careful. Since Kaiser is of course an amazing player, being such a strong striker and a new Gen 11, plus having a world-class weapon like the Kaiser Impact, but Kaiser has also created a system where he crushes any potential players so they don't have a chance to get to his level, showing that his ego might not be as strong as he lets on, since he has this fear and wants to hurt others like a rose would hurt you when you touch it, before you can hurt him by potentially taking his place. Also, his aura can show that Kaiser is able to have a strong influence on people, since we see how dedicated someone like Ness is to Kaiser, and we even see Kaiser's blue roses on Ness's cover, showing just how much of a hold and influence Kaiser can create, like a rose bush that spreads and gets out of control if not tamed. Plus, we also see Kaiser's design where he has roses on his body. And since we were just talking about him, next is Ness with his aura being a magician. This is reference to the way that Ness plays, which is using his flexible ankles to move quickly past his opponents that makes his moves so smooth. It's like he's casting a spell. Plus, being considered the heart of the Bastard team before this project as their midfielder means that he was able to have the most control over the ball and make sure that Kaiser gets the most goals on the team. So for Yukimiya, his aura is a street, which it's pretty simple since it refers to his play style, which is street football style, where he developed his dribble style from street football, so it makes a lot of sense that his aura would be represented by a street, which is similar to the next person which we're discussing, which is Lorenzo, whose aura is zombie due to his dribbling style that he's created called zombie dribbling, where Lorenzo can move his body in a strange and zombie-like way that makes it so he can get past his opponents, since it makes it much harder to read his movements. Also, he has been seen being associated with mouths with his aura, which is also a reference to his nickname as the Ace Eater, where he will defend and shut down the ace of any team. Also, he has a mouth tattoo on his neck. And for Aiku, his aura is a snake, which refers to his defensive style, where he completely consumes and shuts down the ball, not letting it get past him, like how a snake consumes its prey. Plus, Plus, snakes are commonly associated with the color green, and when Aiku is in his defensive mode, his green eye gets more emphasis since he has 2 different colored eyes. And next we have Corona with his space aura, which refers to his planet hotline that he has with Isagi. It could also be a reference to how Corona's playstyle helps to create endless possibilities for characters with his assists, like how space is endless. Also a small fun fact, but he's known to just space out when he wakes up since he's not a morning person. And now for the Master Strikers, we have Chris Prince. I wasn't sure what to call his aura at first, but I see people calling it a Titan, so I'll call it that as well. And Titans are known as a person or thing with great strength, which perfectly explains Chris Prince since he is considered to have the ideal body and be very strong, having 100% stats in every category for football. Next we have Marc Snuffy, and his aura was a bird, which I'm assuming this was an eagle, and in that case, eagles represent honesty, truth, strength, courage, wisdom, power, and freedom, which are all words that describe who Snuffy is pretty well, from his style of coaching to who he is as a person, from what we've seen in the Neo Egoist League arc. And then we have Loki, whose aura seems to be lightning, which of course refers to his lightning speed moves, and the fact that he is the fastest person we have seen so far in the bllk manga, plus the fact that he uses his speed as a huge part of his playstyle. And then we have Lavinio, whose aura is a butterfly, and this refers to Lavinio's style of dribbling, where he imagines a butterfly moving across the field, and with this image he's able to create unique and flexible dribbles that are hard to predict, to the point where only the best of the best strikers can even keep up with it. And last we have the Wadama brothers, whose aura is crocodiles, which refers to their uniquely shaped eyebrows. And yeah, that's pretty much it for them. But that's it. This was definitely one of my bigger videos I have done, but I definitely enjoy doing it. So if you enjoy the content, then please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Definitely let me know in the comments if you interpret any of these auras in a different way, since I think what makes these auras so interesting is that you can get so many different meanings from them. So if you would like to add on to any of these in the comments, then definitely do so, since I would love to read them. And for any characters that don't have confirmed visual auras yet, then let me know what you think their auras can be, since I would love to read that as well. And please let me know if there's any future bllk videos you'd like me to do, since I am very open to suggestions. Anyways, that is the end of the video, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!